In Newton, Iowa, lies a short track known for incredible racing. And under the lights here tonight for the Race Hardline Sim Racing League, we're going racing for 200 laps with the Cup Series machines in the Midwest Powersource Cup Series. And tonight, finishing 200 laps around here. This is always a great racetrack with the Cup Series cars, though kind of a handful here tonight.
Yeah, it's a pretty big handful, and also a relatively kind of unknown combination. Typically, the Cup Series doesn't come here. Unfortunately, hopefully they do in the near future, but it's not a track that normally guys in the Cup Series will race at, so this is a slight unknown on the schedule for some of these guys tonight.
And a couple new faces here this evening. We got Cole Bagunia there in the number 7 Red Dead Redemption 2 machine, looking real good there in the Camaro. Gets off into the wall and slides across the nose of the number, trying to figure out what car that was. That's the 27 of Jared Matthew there. Nice looking paint scheme on that car here this week, the Subway number 27 Camaro. But we're in qualifying right now. Again, 200 laps here tonight. We got a couple special cameras I wanted to point out here tonight because new feature here of the night. The right front suspension cam. You get a nice look at the brake rotor and all the suspension here within iRacing. You're going to see those brakes going red hot later in the events once they get them all nice and warmed up. So that's something to keep an eye out for here tonight, Finian. But Iowa Speedway, it's under a mile. It's kind of a short track, but it kind of races like a speedway. How is this place different?
Yeah, it's kind of, like you're saying, a little bit of both, and just has to do with the kind of the radius of the corners. They're pretty big compared to tracks like Martinsville or Bristol, and also with the banking in play as well. It just kind of has a little bit of both characteristics in some ways. So it drives, like you're saying, drives like a speedway and drives like a short track as well.
And here tonight, drivers will have to keep their patience in check. It's not really a short race per se, kind of a long one here by hardline standards. So drivers will have to keep their noses in check. And, of course, open qualifying here tonight, which can be a little bit frustrating for a lot of these drivers. You got to be careful not to get your runs backed up by any other drivers, and especially coming off of last week at Daytona, Finian. There was some drama on the last lap of the Daytona race with the 11, the 9, and the 3, and it was ultimately ruled that Jeremy Allen, and then the tied number 11 that you're looking at right now, ended up winning that race after it was deemed that Matthew Bell and Ryan Hartz had violated the yellow line rule on the back straightaway on the white flag lap. So there was a little bit of drama there. Some people upset with race control, and I think going into this week there's some heads that are a little hot, and I think are hoping this race goes a little better for them here tonight. And especially the number 9 car of Matthew Bell probably had that race in hand regardless of the yellow line situation last week. And again, running 3rd right now in qualifying. Another good run for that 9 car so far tonight.
Yeah, I would say he's running pretty well in 3rd right now. Only 7 thousandths of a second out of 2nd place, with Jeremy Allen ahead in 2nd. And then Joshua Adams is currently holding the pole at just over 28 thousandths of a second ahead of Jeremy Allen. So, and actually that's just
as he said that there, Finney, and Allen jumps back up now at 12 thousandths off of Joshua Adams with about a minute left in this qualifying session.
Yeah, it's really close. And I actually take this time real quick to update the point standings. Jeremy Allen's currently winning or leading the points in 1st, followed by Daniel Roper in 2nd, and Matthew Bell in 3rd.
And Daniel Roper not here tonight, so going to take a big points hit if he doesn't make it in the next 50 or so seconds, and doesn't a couple more late joins, but doesn't look like that's going to work out. So a couple notables here, not here tonight. And Briar LaPrade, the number 19 car, is back here this week. We haven't seen him in Hardline in a couple events, and here he is in that number 19 Camaro. Gets into the wall off the corner in front of Thomas Bresci. The 3rd spins it to the inside. That will conclude his qualifying session.
And let's see, as the final few cars are coming across the line, everyone's going to have about another lap to run. You look right on board with the 25 Corey Blevins. Currently in 11th, trying to improve his time. He has one more shot right here.
And qualifying concluding now, and Jeremy Allen, the number 11, fast last week, fast this week. And 30 seconds remaining. Looks like Jeremy Allen will collect the pole here tonight, as long as no one knocks him off in the final moments.
And again, it's insane how close everyone is. You can see on the left there, the entire top 8 drivers are all within 2/10 of each other. So very close field tonight.
Qualifying over here at Iowa Speedway, and wow, it's a hard impact there. But again, Jeremy Allen, your pole sitter here tonight, and Joshua Adams, the number 88, starting in second.
Yeah, and that will indeed conclude qualifying. We're going to get set to go 200 laps here at Iowa. Notably, the stage caution will come out at lap 75, ending that first stage.
And pits will close at lap 73. So with 2 laps to go, pits will close, and you may not come down to get service until the caution flies.
And that's very convenient too, considering what I did crunched the numbers earlier. These guys' pit window is looking to be about 70 laps, so it's going to be very close for these guys on fuel.
Yeah, indeed, and I think you might see a little bit of fuel saving. You might see guys just ditch that idea and split it in half, and we'll see how that goes as we progress throughout this race. But again, kind of a long race by Hardline standards, 200 laps here tonight. Under green, they'll click off quite a bit, but if the cautions start to fly, it really slows the pace down. So we'll see how many frustrations boil over from Daytona last week into this week. We went from one of the largest tracks to one of the smallest on the circuit.
Yeah, and it's a big jump for these guys. Like you're saying, going from flooring it at 200 miles an hour now to cornering it under 100. So big speed difference here and a completely different style of driving. So we'll definitely see probably some different faces towards the front of the field.
Yeah, we mentioned last week that the brake packages being used at Daytona were extremely small, and that leads to braking not being very good performance-wise at Daytona. But this week they got the big brake packages on, and you're going to see them working out. Again, we have the cameras to show for it. Right front suspension cameras that we're riding on board now with the 11 of Jeremy Allen. We have all the cars outfitted with this camera here tonight, so we'll jump around and see whose brakes are glowing the most. But that rotor underneath that Eagle logo is going to be red hot later in the event, and drivers have to manage their brake heat and tire wear if they want to, especially if this goes green for a long time. Finney, and tire wear is going to be extremely important here. Iowa can be pretty rough, especially in the upper lanes.
I would say you want to save your tires as much as possible. If you wear them out too early, you're going to really suffer later on, especially coming off of 2 and 4. That wall can really close up on you. So want to save your stuff. You want to keep a good pace going throughout the entire run and not just early on.
Take a look at our starting lineup here tonight. And on the front row, Jeremy Allen in a Chevrolet Camaro alongside Joshua Adams, another chase contender from last season, up front here in second.
And moving back to row number 2, we have Matthew Bell in the 9 Camaro on the inside, and then outside of him will be Ryan Hartz in the number 3.
Behind them, in row number 3, Tyler Hensley and Briar LaPrade. Again, LaPrade returning back to Hardline Cup Series racing after a couple of weeks of absence. He'll be starting in 6th.
Moving on back to 7th place, we have Thomas Bressy, the 3rd in 7th in the 24. And in 8th, we have Jared Matthew in the 27 Camaro.
And 9th, Jordan McEvoy there, the number 21 car, starting alongside Cole Bagunia in the number 7. And Bagunia, a new name here this week. He's driving a Camaro, but he's rolling off 10th.
Moving back on to 11th, we have Corey Blevins in the 25, and in 12th, Casey Shue in the 4.
Moving on back to 13th and 14th, Eric Talent and Austin Derbyshire in the 13 and 64 cars. Both those guys in Ford Fusions, starting back there in row number 7.
Back to row number 8, we have Kevin Jadricic in the 6. And in 16th, we have Keith Haney in the 86.
Back in 17th, Cody Tabor, and in 18th, James Haney in the number 55 car. Cody in a Chevrolet Camaro, and Haney in the number 55 Ford Fusion. And that will round out the field here tonight. I think we might have one more row of cars back there.
I don't think so. I think that should
Is that
be
it?
Yep.
All right. Good. The graphic actually worked this week.
Yeah, I know.
Could be a finicky one for sure as we're about to roll off here. Pace car going to work its way down the back straightaway. And the Jeremy Allen, again, winner last week at Daytona with all that controversy. I think he wants to win this one without that controversy here tonight and just to keep the asterisk away from his victories here this season. Pace car is going to roll off 200 laps here at Iowa. And we're waiting on the green flag to drop. And oh, they're waiting a long time for this one. Yeah, green flag in the air here at Iowa tonight. Jeremy Allen leads him down.
You see a bunch of Camaros there leading into turn 1.
Matthew Bell got a great start on the inside there, and he's going to try to take that spot away from Joshua Adams, but Adams gets a phenomenal run. We got a car loose down on the bottom.
That's Hensley in the 46.
And didn't get a great look at it. Here he is. He'll actually collect it and save it and move on.
Yeah, but he lost a lot of ground. He lost about 3 to 4 positions there.
And he's going to continue to lose more. Here comes Corey Blevins to the inside looking for a spot.
He's going to back out, or he's going to just continue on the outside.
Up just ahead, Jared Matthew in the 27. Trying to work around the outside of Cole Paguni on the number 7 car, but let's jump back up to the lead here, Finian, because we have a 3-way battle. Allen, Adams, and Hartz.
You can see they're all running the high line there. It's an interesting choice trying to defend, and Adams looked like he was actually getting a good run on the outside, so maybe he's trying to look out there to get a run.
Thomas Bresci looking to the inside of Briar LaPrade, has to back out of it. That's a real hard place to put your car in here. Very easy to wash up into the car on the bottom.
You can see the outside car also trying to, that was LaPrade trying to pinch Bresci there. As you see Adams now trying to maybe look to the inside of the 11, trying to get a run, but just can't get it done at the moment.
Extremely competitive here early. I think everyone's trying to get their track position while they can, while it's easy to get. And it look like Joshua Adams going to roll up the racetrack just a little bit, try to get the run off the corner. And Ryan Hart's down to the inside, Finney, and he's going to try to take the spot away from Adams coming out of turn 4. But again, Adams going to get that great run on the high side. That outside lane is a great place to be defensive here at Iowa.
Yeah, there's his teammate behind him trying to potentially pass him for position. Looks like he's going to stay in line at the moment. That's Bell in the 9, and Hart's in the 3.
And they were swapped last week when that finish at Daytona occurred. And not a whole lot of opportunities to work together much here, but you can certainly cut your teammate a break.
Ooh, you see Adams get very close to the wall, almost got into it. He's going to keep it off again. And as that run gets on, those tires are going to wear out. And you're going to see you guys probably potentially rub that wall.
Yeah, turn 4 seems like the real trouble spot. Turn 2, you're kind of, the racing line's a little bit far away from the wall, but turn 4, it takes you right up against it. Certainly makes that moment hairy for everybody.
And there you see the 3 of Hearts dive it all the way to the inside, trying to get around Adams, but Adams is going to have a nice run off the corner. And
oh, he's going to drift up. Almost gets into the 88, but keeps it off. Good work there by Hearts to not jump into the side of the 88 of Adams.
Yeah, I would say that. That was a split-second decision, well made. And he's going to keep it off the 88, going to lose some ground, and he's also using up his tires quite aggressively here. As you see the 19 now and 24 battling for position.
Yeah, Briar LaPrade and Thomas Bresci have been fighting since lap number 1. Looks like LaPrade is going to try to clear the 24, but can't quite do it. And he'll slide up alongside. That outside lane, Finian, looks really hard to get past up there. You can really defend well, even if you're slower.
You see as both these guys are still side by side, not able to get away from each other. You see Bresci now looks like he's gonna clear him for position. But notably, there's a battle for 12th there. See a bunch of cars here racing for position.
Corey Bleeven's leading that pack, and that's Kevin Jadrosich and Casey Shue. Austin Derbyshire and Cody Tabor is in there as well. Battle for 12th, or actually 11th, really. And if you count Jordan McEvoy, that's 10th.
Yeah, so a bunch of guys all backed up here, kind of in a train. And you can see now the Ford on the inside. I'm trying to figure out who that is. I believe that's the 6 of Jadrosich. Yeah, that is. He's trying to work the inside line. Everyone else working to mid to high line early on.
And Bleevens again in that 25. He was a strong force at Daytona early in the going last week, but fell off the pace a little bit and didn't get a phenomenal finish after all that. So that 25 car looking to rebound here a little bit at Iowa as we continue to battle for the 10th spot. McEvoy have it, Bleevens wants it, and Shue and Jadrosich just waiting in the wings.
And this is really kind of one of those things where we talk about if you make a mistake here, you're going to lose a lot of position because these guys are all right together nose to tail. So you can't afford to make too much of an error, otherwise it can really cost you. You see now the 3 of Hearts going to the inside of Adams is the best shot he's had. And if you can just kind of do a slide jump maneuver, let's see.
He's going to clear him as the 88 gets a pretty awful run out of turn 4, considering how high up the racetrack he was. But we've already seen the multiple grooves here at Iowa really playing out early. The high side, again, defensive. And I think as the track wears out here later in the race, that outside line's going to get even better and better.
And you see Hart's also kind of now starting to run the outside as well. So I wonder if he thinks that there's something up there. But you see his teammate now, the 9 of Bell, looking to the inside of Adams, trying to give him a hard time, but can't get the move done. He's got to settle for 4th for now.
And Bell, extremely talented, was quick in practice, quick in qualifying, and looks to be quick in the race. Just got to try to work around Joshua Adams there. Bell trying to swap back for that spot.
Now Bell, you see, go to the outside, and Adams to the inside for the first time in a while.
I see a lot of experimenting going on out here right now, Finian. I don't think drivers are really committed to lines. They're still searching for grip. I mean, it's early in the race. The tire's beginning to wear out just a little bit, so all the good off of them is gone, and you have to start looking around to find grip anywhere you can. And I think that's what drivers are doing to kind of feel out the conditions here tonight.
And those separate the good drivers from the best drivers, the guys who are willing to look around for different lines. You can't just run the same line for all 200 laps. You got to look around, maybe play around with some different lines, different driving styles as the race goes on and the track rubber's up. So That's really what we're seeing here. You see a big this big field of cars there. This is about 10th on back.
Yeah, Jadrosic is up 4 spots from the start of the race, but we see behind him, Derbyshire is just leading Keith Haney in the number 86 car. He was just in a battle with the 2 of Cody Tabor, and the 55 of James Haney trying to get around Tabor there in the number 2. And still side by side is that big 4 of Casey Shue. Indeed it is, alongside Jordan McEvoy there in the number 21 car, who I believe has slipped back a little bit, back 4 spots. So the 21 going the wrong direction here early.
Yeah, it looks like he's on the top lane, and he's got a bunch of hungry cars behind him, so he's got to try to get some momentum going. And definitely in the opposite direction, because he's still losing some ground.
And Keith Haney in the 86 looking like he wants to take that spot away as well. And he's running the high lane where the 21 is, but you can't drive through him. You got to get around him. So if you're stuck to that outside lane, you have to start experimenting, dropping to the bottom, playing around with the different lines, because if you need to pass a car that's running the same line you are, you're going to be in trouble.
You see now, looking back up towards the field again, we have the 9 of Bell right on the back bumper of Adams. It looked like he was trying to get a position, but still not having anything of it. But notably, looking back, you can see the 24 and the 19 have actually caught up to this group.
They have indeed chased this duo down just a little bit, working lap 18 now. You see the 19 and 24 are racing very hard behind him, Finian. I wonder how much that's gonna last before the patience starts to run out.
Yeah, well, it looks like the 19's kind of settled in for the moment, at least. I guess he's going to try to wait till they catch this group up ahead to try to make a move for position. But while all this kind of juking and jiving has gone on, the 11 of Jeremy Allen is kind of just checked out from this group.
Yep, a second on Ryan Hart's the number 3. He's running kind of really up high on the racetrack, which is peculiar. I thought he'd be kind of taking a more conservative line, but obviously it's working out for him. He's leading the race, but lost a little bit of ground to Hart's the last couple laps, and the distance is now down to 7/10 of a second.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to see it expanded as they entered turn 1 and expanded back to 8/10 of a second, and that's really due to Hart's running the inside line now and running the outside. You can just kind of see, notably with the gaps, how the gaps change as one driver runs the low line and doesn't get a good run off the corner while the guys running the high line get their run.
You see Bresci exiting, Adams running a little bit lower on corner exit, and Bell running that higher line, gained a lot on the straightaway, but when you run that higher line, this track is wide for a short track, so you lose a lot of ground mathematically just because of the size of the radius. And you see now Bell really wheeling that car off the corner, gonna go around the high side, try to get it done up there.
Yeah, it's now, can he get a quarter panel kind of in the 86, sorry, not 86, 88 of Adams, but and that's really what secure his run, because Adams can just kind of slide up and defend his position. So there you see the 9 now, Bell going to the bottom.
Bottom's really hard line to hold, though. You see on exit here, he's going to slip up the racetrack, and the 88 should have the run. Almost a door contact there, driving down the back straightaway.
It looks like he got, oh, and there's a batch of smoke cloud there.
There's a car slow on the apron. It's Anthony DeFrenchi in the number 44. And I believe he's got, wow, significant damage to the nose of that car, and that'll probably be a retirement. Yeah,
he was already a lap down when that happened, and I'm kind of wondering if he just got loose at some point.
Let's go find out. Already had right side damage, so the car must have been understeering pretty badly. Gets off of turn 2.
Hit the wall in the middle of the straightaway. Yeah, it was an interesting place to wreck, and hard. Like, I'm amazed a caution did not come out for this.
Yeah, and you see the leaders were just about to roll around there, so DeFrenchi out here early at Iowa. We have a big battle going on for 4th place right now, and looks like Bresci and LaPrat have caught Matthew Bell for that 4th spot.
And there you see LaPrat, like I was saying, he was going to wait till they catch this group, and now he's going to try to work the outside around Bresci. And he's going to be side by side with him and has a run out of the corner.
Again, in a really good position, but the problem is the 9 of Matthew Bell is the car they're about to pass, and Bell's running the high lane as well, so can Bresci use that number 9 as a pick?
Well, I think that's what he's going to try to do here, as they're all kind of using each other as pick. As you see now again, it actually looks like Adams has caught Hart's, and now they're fighting for position. So we pretty much have a almost 5-way battle for 2nd place. There you see the leader go ahead past the frame, and everyone else here that's through 5th or 6th position. Sorry.
Yeah, incredible battles here early. We're 26 laps in. You'd think we're closing in on the final couple laps the way these guys are racing. Look at Bell way up the racetrack trying to get that run down the straightaway. Opens himself up to getting a car on the inside. That would be LaPrat behind him, but manages to roll the exit well enough to keep LaPrat behind him.
I'm still amazed at how close these guys are. Again, we're still 27 laps into this run, so I would have expected these guys to get separated, but they've actually closed up more as the run's gone on.
Yeah, and it's not just in the front of the field. Behind them, there's a lot of action going on as well. And now look at Bell trying to get back around the inside of Joshua Adams. Adams really slow through 1 and 2 here.
Yeah, very slow indeed. I wonder if his tires are starting to give up more than the guys around him. There you see the 9. It looks like Bell's going to have him.
Yeah, kind of a frantic scatter there for the 19 of LaPrade. Tried to look low, tried to look high, didn't have anywhere to go. He's going to try to get the 88's in the wall and is going to collect LaPrade and spin across the racetrack. Caution's out here at Iowa.
Looks like Adams is going to save it, though. I think he might retire. He's come to a stop on the infield.
Oh, we'll get it rolling again.
All right.
Doesn't look like there'd be a whole lot of damage there, Finian, but obviously not ideal. Let's ride on board with him.
And again, this is what I was talking about with the corners just sneaking up, and you can see him running the high line. Gets into the gas, and he thinks he has enough room, but then right as he gets to the wall there, he didn't. And it's kind of hard to judge from there when to get onto the gas, and unfortunately mistimed it.
And nowhere that LaPrade could have gone here. We'll ride on board with him to see his perspective of it. But LaPrade just caught up in an innocent victim. Nobody's, you know, not that this crash wasn't anybody's fault necessarily, just an accident with the 88 getting in the wall and LaPrade not being able to get out of the gas fast enough to prevent a collision.
It looks, from the looks of it, it looks like LaPrade got off pretty much unscathed. A little bit of dents here and there, but should be pretty fine.
Yeah, that car should be all right. Especially at a short track. Aero is not that important anyway. We got pit stops here on lap number 30.
Yeah, this is these guys are gonna have to come down pit road. The curve pit road at the end, so it'll be interesting for the guys up at front. They have to pit in a kind of weird angle. There they come. They're going to come around the curve there. Have to make sure you find your pit stall. It's kind of hard to find when you're in a turn.
And Jeremy Allen will find his box. The rest of the field does behind as well. All right, well, we've seen the racing be real close here early, but 30 laps in, everyone's going to get new tires and cool down their brakes, to get a drink of water and a snack. And look at Bressie popping out of the pits real quick.
And Hartz is actually staying in. I think maybe fix some damage. And wow, it was close between the 9 and the 24, and behind them between Hensley and the 7 of Cole Begunia.
Yeah, so let's take a look. This was Allen, Bell, Bressie coming out of the pits. Couple of spots gained for both those guys. Cole Begunia there in the number 7. You mentioned it, the Red Dead Redemption Camaro going to come out in 4th. Tyler Hensley rebounding after a bad start there in the number 46. Corey Blevins in 6th. That's a 4-spot gain for him. Kevin Jadrosich in 7th behind him. And
notably, Ryan Hart's all the way back in 16th, so I think he probably needed to fix some damage. And actually, I think I might have seen some to the... Yeah, he has some significant right front damage to that car.
Oh, he does have some right front damage indeed. And I was trying to see what you were looking at, but you look and see the vent there on the right side. You see the carbon fiber. You're not supposed to be able to see that.
Yeah, I wonder what happened to him. I'm guessing on that last run towards the end, he might have gotten a lick with the wall. Kind of similar to what happened to Adams.
Again, turn 4 is such an easy place to understeer off the corner exit, so I imagine that's probably what happened to the number 3. So again, not huge damage, but certainly something you want to fix.
Yeah, that's going to be unfortunate for him, as he was running in the top 5. Now he's going to be all the way back, way out of it, so he's got to drive his way back up here as he's still trying to fix some damage under this caution.
All right, well, it's been great racing early, but Jeremy Allen has led every single lap so far on that tied number 11 Camaro, picking up where he left off last week.
And notably, too, it looks like Joshua Adams has retired. He's going to retire all the way back in 18th. Yeah,
surprised that he would do that, especially with the championship picture. I mean, every point you can gain, that point could mean something later this season, so a surprise. And that damage didn't really look all that bad, but I guess he deemed the steering was knocked out enough to prevent him from running the rest of the race.
Yeah, he might have probably had it required and just decided not to deal with it, and I can't blame him. It would it's a kind of a pain to drive it around for another 170 laps, so he probably just decided to call it a night here and there.
Field rolls off a turn 2. A lot of shake-up there under the yellow flag and through the pit stop, so now I'm curious to see on the restart, how much does that affect these drivers, because they were kind of sorted out nicely by their running speed, but now that they're all shaken up, it's going to be like throwing these race cars in a blender, and sometimes the result that it always isn't pretty.
Yeah, and actually, looks like LaPrade actually lost quite a bit of spots. He's all the way back in 8th.
Yeah, also, he probably had some damage to fix, so I think he took that opportunity to get the nose corrected.
So yeah, we've seen him have some speed, so he's got to work through a few cars to get back to where he was running. Also interested in seeing where the 7 of Begunia runs He's all the way now up into 4th, so you see him there in that 2nd row. So interested to see what his car has got tonight.
Jeremy Allen electing for the outside lane for the restart. I like that decision. Get yourself nice and clear and be able to defend. And that way you don't give the, you can pinch the inside guy down. You don't give him a lot of options. If you were to take the inside, that outside guy can run all the way up to the wall. He can run anywhere he wants. So by running the outside lane, giving himself more options to hold on to the lead here at Iowa.
Alright, so let's see them here. We still got 17 cars on the lead lap still running. And we'll see what all of them can do. The pace car is going to make the left turn onto pit road and you're going to get ready to go green here coming to lap 35.
Green flag back in the air. The number 11 gets a great restart and kind of snookers Matt Bell there just a tad. And Bressie was ready to go, but has nowhere to go with his speed. As we look back, there's Blevins on the outside of LaPrade. That'll be for the 6th spot.
LaPrade trying to go down low to get some position. But there you see the 7 and the 24. They're fighting for position.
Looks like Bressie will get that spot away from Begunia.
But here comes Begunia now with a big run off the corner. And I don't think the 24 Bressie can answer for that.
Through turns 1 and 2 now, Tyler Hensley looking onto this and trying to figure out where he wants to go with momentum and speed.
Yeah, he also got a fantastic restart, so he's now solidified in 5th. Now you see him going to the outside following the 7, trying to get around Bressie.
Through turns 1 and 2, you see the bumps on the inside of the track, that 24 bouncing violently over them. The inside lane is a lot more bumpy than the outside, and that's one of the options why a lot of drivers prefer that outside lane, because it's smoother and it's less upsetting to the race car.
Yeah, definitely so, and it's kind of a bunch of different factors that make people choose different lanes. That's kind of what's good about Iowa, is that it's not single lane, unlike Texas,
yeah,
as we've seen last week in real life, but it gives a lot of options to these drivers to work with, and you can see them taking nearly every option they can.
Corey Blevins got real close to the wall on corner exit there, and Briar LaPrade's going to take advantage of it, drop into the inside, try to steal a spot away. Hensley backed up behind Bressie out of turn 4.
They see LaPrade looks like he's kind of struggling on that inside. I just think he can't get the runs out of the corners, and that's what's kind of killing him at the moment.
He is up a couple spots from the restart, but struggling to make any farther progress. Meanwhile, we look back at Ryan Hartz, who started deep in the field on the restart, moved his way back up into 12th spot and looking to take away 11th from Casey Shue and 10th from Jordan McKeeboy.
And his crew did a fantastic job repairing that car. You can barely tell that it was involved in a wreck, so his car looks pretty much like new, and it's driving almost like new, as he's kind of swerving through a lot of these guys ahead of him.
Gotta be careful here, though, working through slower traffic. You don't get yourself caught up in another incident. Gotta keep the fenders on it all the way to the end. Meanwhile, back up for the lead. Jeremy Allen has not really run away as easily as he did last run. Matthew Bell trying to chase him down.
And also just look at that giant string of cars stretching from Bressie on back. It's either all pretty much running, we're running single file on the straightaway. They're all fanning out through the corner, taking different approaches to it.
The field is just really closely bunched in general, from nose to tail. The 17th place is only 5 seconds back, which is phenomenal 6 or 7 laps after a restart.
Yeah, and the top 16 are all within about 4 seconds of each other, too, so it's incredible incredible how close all these guys are running.
And the top 5 are all within a second.
Yeah.
See Keith Haney in the 86 there and Kevin Giadricic, they're battling hard for what'll end up being 8th place.
But you see behind them slowly, Ryan Hart's in the 3, he's catching up in 10th.
Jared Matthew and Casey Shue side by side driving off into turn 1, and yeah, Jared Matthew got a real nice Subway livery on that car this week. I really dig that paint scheme.
I just say it sucks too. Ever since Carl Edwards left, we haven't seen a Subway car in the Cup Series. So nice to see a paint scheme like that.
Back up front, less than 0.2 of a second. Look at Bressie now making speed on the high lane.
Yeah, try to arc it in a way to get a run on the outside of Bell, but Bell's going to have none of it. He's going to defend there at the moment. You see Bressie and Bell almost kind of entering the midline while Allen's entering low. So again, different approaches to the corners here. And it's all going to come to a head here, and I think Bell might have something for the 11 of Allen, and even Bressie too as well.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, and there was a 7 of Begunia. I didn't even realize he was close to these guys.
He's having a little blinking issue there, but he's trying to get closer. Right on board the right front suspension of Thomas Bressie here, and we'll watch the brakes as he drives off into turn 3. And we're going to see these get hotter and hotter throughout the run.
Yeah, because you can see that they're not using too much of it now, and I think that's just most of them kind of a little bit of brake input and rolling off the throttle. Yep. But I think later on, as the tires start to wear out, you're going to see them getting on the brakes a lot more.
Yeah, we'll compare this shot now with what we'll see later in the race, and you'll see the difference in the braking heat that is released from the car in the beginning of the run versus the end of one. Corey Bleeven's having a great run in that 25 car, trying to get away 5th place from Tyler Hensley, and Hensley running well after his slow start.
Yeah, so that caution really kind of mixed up the field quite a bit. You see Bleeven's and guys like Bleeven's and Hensley and Begonia getting to the top part of the field, while Hartz and some others went towards the back.
And Kevin Jadrosich having a good run right now, running 8th right now, but Ryan Hart's behind him, trying to get that spot away, and Hartz is continuing his climb through the field, but it's taken him a little bit longer than I certainly thought it would.
Yeah, it's taking him longer, but he's got a lot of these guys all within one stretch ahead of him. They're all nose to tail, so he's just got to kind of work through them methodically and trying to get it recovered. But again, just great recovery in general from that guy, from him. I thought his car would have been too damaged to really continue up with pace, maybe past a few guys, but he's almost looks like he's going to be able to drive to the top 5 at some point.
And patience is playing out in his favor. He's got a long way. We have over 150 laps to go. There's no need to go up there and knock people out of your way just yet. There's plenty of time left in this race. Take your time, plan out your strategy, and he'll certainly get those spots back as long as he stays true to that mantra.
And he also only has to really go till about lap 75 till we get the stage break. So he's only got to go for about 25 more laps. So he can kind of just push as much as he can, and also again take a little bit of his time as he's currently in 8th and looks like he will catch 6th and 7th up ahead shortly.
Bleevens and Laprade side by side out of turn 2. They're going to go door to door down the back straightaway. Laprade gets the good run on the inside, but if Bleevens can stay on the high lane, he might get the run out of turn 4 and be able to hold on to this spot.
Well, let's see. You can see Laprade's got a nice run. Well, he tried to slide up, and there he goes. He slides up ahead of Bleevens. He's going to secure that position. And they're actually both catching Hensley in the 46 ahead. You can see Laprade all the way on his back bumper now, trying to look low on the exit. He might have a run here on the black straightaway.
Yeah, Laprade's really been rolling that bottom line, even when he doesn't have to. He's been down there making speed, and we haven't seen a lot of cars be able to do that. So Laprade certainly rolling that bottom lane very well, as everyone else has had to run the high side to find speed.
And look at that. He's made almost 2 passes in 2 laps. So great job by that 19. I thought he was kind of stalling out on speed, but looks like he was kind of just saving a little bit, and there he goes. He's going to try to get around Hensley. I don't know if he'll be able to do it.
Oh,
no,
he does
do it that time.
I just wonder if this is going to wear out his tires a lot quicker than the guys around him, or if this won't even matter, because he's just driving as hard as he can to the end of the stage.
Yeah, I think he's just going to try to drive his heart out till the end of the stage and then defend from there on out. But he's got now the 7 ahead of him before he can break into the top 4.
And Hensley under attack from Bleevens on the inside now, but we'll see if Bleevens can complete the pass like Laprade did. I have a hunch that Laprade's quicker on the bottom than anybody else, right? Oh, the 3 car in the wall again off of turn 2, Finian. That's a pretty hard hit there.
Yeah, and you can already see that it's dented back up again, and I can imagine his crew chief is not happy with him at all, as they just fixed that thing and now it's already damaged again, but he's still running pretty strong, and he's got a swarm of cars up ahead to try to pass.
So Hart's obviously having a little bit of trouble tonight. Been in the wall a few times. Look at Bleevens and Hensley almost making contact there out of turn 2. Not a whole lot of room given there, and we're only on lap 54.
There you see ahead too. Laprade now looking to the inside of the 7, now trying to get 4th place away.
Laprade is on a charge right now, the number 19, and making speed where no one else is, and that is an excellent thing to see here at Iowa with about 20 laps to go to the end of the stage.
I would say something just got like a little spark or turn on the NOS tank or something, but he's up on a charge now, passing.
Well, he just went past the NOS car. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't think he's got the NOS tank. They have the NOS tank. He's got skill tonight in making his way through the field.
Yeah, and he's just doing something these guys.
Wow,
that was very close. He's doing something these guys aren't, and he just got around the 7. Now he's up into 4th place. So solid job by him. I don't think he'll be able to catch Bresci on this run, but he's only got to hold out 20 more laps till the caution comes out.
1.6 seconds up to catch Bresci, but we'll see if he can close the gap. Well, speaking of Bresci, let's go up take a quick look at his battle with Matthew Bell, because it is separated by 2/10, and this has been a pretty intense battle ever since the drop of the green flag on the restart.
Yeah, these guys haven't been able to get separated from each other, although they have lost quite a bit of ground as the run's gone on. When we were looking back at the rest of the field, they've been separated by about a little over a second now from the 11 of Allen, and Allen is just, again, in his world of his own. This race has been pretty much unchallenged since the drop of the green flag 57 laps ago, so solid job by that tight car.
Yeah, he is just absolutely setting sail, and like I said earlier, he's picking up where he left off last week, and there was some talk about whether or not he deserved the win after Matthew Bell finished in front of him, and Alan forced well below the line, and there was a lot of controversy around the situation that led up to that. But Alan was given the win last week, and I think he wants to win again just to make sure that he's got his name officially in the record books with no asterisk next to it, and doing a great job so far tonight. Side by side now, there's Hensley and Haney, and Hensley really going backwards on this, and obviously the pit strategy that he played is not really working out to his favor, dropping back down to 9th.
Yeah, and he's really dropped kind of like a rock. We saw he was running up towards around 5th place, but now he's falling back. Like you said, now he's falling back to 9th place.
And that would be Keith Haney that just got around him. Up in front of them, Corey Blevins and Cole Begunia. I almost said Bologna. Battling, and there's lots of battles all over the racetrack, just trying to keep the cameras on some of them. And Hart's really trying to rebound from that earlier contact with the wall. And
there's Hensley driving very deep into 3.
Yeah, Hensley's really trying to get something out of his tires here. I just don't think he quite has. Boy. Almost gets into Haney on the corner exit there.
And you see Haney now. He's going to try to run, maybe make a move on the inside of Hart. I don't know if he'll be able to do it though. But Hensley's still trying on the bottom in the 86. Can't do it. He's got to let up.
Austin Derbyshire, significant right front damage. Just misses the pit barrels. He's coming to pit road to fix it. Got in the wall. I believe off of turn 2.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. He's been struggling all night long. It's kind of sucks to see him struggling here tonight. But back up towards the front, we see the 24 and the 9 still fighting for position. See Bresci almost get a quarter panel in there.
And while these guys are battling, look behind. Briar LaPrade has chopped that lead by about a half a second in the last couple laps that we were mentioning. So he's still got 10 laps to get the job done, and he might actually be able to get there if these guys continue battling up in front of him.
Yeah, he's one of the fastest cars on the track other than the leader, so he's got something solid. If not on this run, future runs even. Again, still got a long way to go in this race. The stage caution will bunch them back up together in a little over 10 laps time.
And Bell and Bresci continue to fight.
Bresci, and these guys are really close on lap times too. Bresci was only a few hundredths off of Bell's time last time, but he gets a little scrape of the wall, I think, on exit.
Checking in with the right front suspension. Not a whole lot of glow still yet, Finney, and I think these guys are conserving their brakes and tires quite well, which is surprising, because in practice and qualifying we saw them going quite heavily.
Yeah, we saw them glowing significantly, and I didn't even realize that they made them glow on the inside of the tires until you showed me.
Yeah.
But
good job, iRacing. Attention to detail.
Yeah, but yeah, I haven't seen much glow from. But let's actually try to just kind of jump around some other cars, maybe see if some of the other guys are using it a lot.
Yeah,
more.
well, actually, let's jump towards the rear. Actually, you know what? A great car to go to would be Tyler Hensley. He's been really working those tires and brakes out. So we're riding on board now with Hensley in the number 46, and let's see if his brakes are any warmer than the guys up front.
No,
everyone's conserving their tires and brakes pretty well. They will be glowing at some point tonight, and we'll continue to jump around here. Jordan McKeevoy. See if he's got any brake heat action going on. There it is. There's some glow, and he's really working those brakes, that 21 car.
So what that just shows is how guys are driving differently, even with the brakes and the throttle input, not just turning into the corner. So again, a lot of different factors with how these guys are driving. They see it heated up again on their braking.
And they're cooling off relatively quick. The trouble you get into is, especially at tracks like Martinsville or Bristol, when there's not enough time to... Oh, caution out, Finian. We got one around. And it looks like it might be Thomas Bresci. Oh, Bresci!
Wow, hard look.
That's going to be it for Bresci tonight, Finian. Out of the race here. Huge collision. I believe that's the exit of turn 2.
And I wonder if Bell ended up getting into him, because they were racing for position. Actually, no, he was behind Bell, so...
Oh, did he go for a dive down here, Finian?
Oh, what?
Oh, you know what? That's got to be a hardware failure.
Yeah.
So that's a brake failure for the number 24 car, and we'll go back and take a look. And we'll just see, we'll ride on board. A great right front suspension cam. This will be a good one to look at. And we'll see, will the brakes glow? Were they ever engaged? And it looks like they never were, Finian. So throttle hung there, it looks like, for the 24 car.
Wow, that was really unfortunate, but great job by Bresci. If you notice, he dove to the inside to try to avoid the 9 of Bell. But, yeah.
You know what, Finian? I want to see one more angle here. I want to ride on board with the gyro cam here. And I want to see Bresci's hand inputs here once the throttle hangs on this car, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Yeah,
he's still in gear, in 4th gear, still hanging. So,
but notably the steering wheel doesn't move from the position he started at. So, and there it starts moving again. So,
yeah.
some kind of disconnection or some issue.
Brake failure is what we like to call it. Anyway, pit stop's underway here, Finian. And,
and LaPrade just got ahead of everyone.
Yeah, Briar LaPrade. Now, did he play some strategy? Looks like he did.
Interesting
Maybe
call there.
Maybe a 2-tire stop. Well, Finian, we only have a couple laps to the end of the stage. I like that call.
Smart move. So looking for the stage points, and again, the only thing he has to do is just hold these guys off for a few laps until the stage caution comes on. I think I'm not sure if they're counting this as the stage caution or not.
Probably not. I think we'll go back green for a couple laps and we'll find out. But maybe you can go find out for us. So caution for Thomas Bressi with brake failure, throttle hanging, something of the sort. And that will conclude the night for the number 24 car, having a strong evening, but unfortunately going to end short just before the end of stage number 1. All right, so working lap 70 here, and LaPrade making a great call, and Jeremy Allen behind him. And if you're in Allen's position, Finian, I'm feeling pretty good because fresh tires are going to be great on the restart. But what's your prediction? I think Allen's going to get this lead back without much hesitation here.
I don't know. It's kind of yes. He honestly, he might. It's kind of hard to tell.
Wouldn't be useful because there's not tires.
But yeah, last caution was, the caution didn't come out at around lap 34. So, let's see, about 40 laps. So, I think it is looking more in Allen's favor, and he will be on the front row. So, I think LaPrade will probably lose the lead, but he might be able to defend off the 9 and maybe the 7. So, again, we'll see. He took those right side tires, which are arguably more important, but you do need lefts as well. So, kind of tough to tell at this point. So we should be coming back to one lap to go to a green. Again, we're not entirely sure up here in the booth if this will count as the stage caution or not. We'll find out.
I think we're gonna go back green here. That's my I don't think LaPrade would have made that move had we been going back green for the long run. So I think LaPrade is pulling the strategy because he knows that we still have a little bit of a green run or a short green run before we go back under yellow and award stage points. Now, if this had come out when the pits had already closed, I think it would be a different story. But looks like we're going to get the 1 to go here, Finian.
Alright, yeah, so 1 to go on lap 72. They'll come by to take the green on lap 73.
I really like what LaPrade did here. I think this is going to be a great move. Remember, he was running 4th before the yellow. Would have had 3rd because Bressi crashed and he was the cause of the accident. But if LaPrade can be 3rd or better, this will be a good decision for him in that number 19.
Yeah, we'll see. So right now, LaPrade the leader, Jeremy Allen in 2nd, Cole Begunia in 3rd, Matthew Bell in 4th, and Corey Blievens is now up to 5th. And that'll round out your top 5.
And again, a hardware failure for Thomas Bressi, and it was indeed a throttle hanging. So unfortunate for Bressi out early here at Iowa. Pace car is going to pull off in just a moment. And Briar LaPrade in the number 19 on the outside. He is your leader. Green flag flies. Gets a phenomenal restart. Help from Cole Begunia. Takes away. And we have just under 3 laps to go remaining in this stage. Pits are closed when they come back around to the line, so you can't pull another short pit maneuver here.
And you see he's trying to hold off both lanes, the 7 and the 11, and he's doing a great job of it at the moment. Here comes Allen to the inside.
And it looks like Allen might be able to complete this pass if LaPrade doesn't get the run, but here he comes to the outside. LaPrade gets a fantastic run, as does Cole Begunia, and here comes Matthew Bell in 4th right behind him. Tyler Hensley battling alongside the 3 of Ryan Hart's behind them as well. In this lap 74 now, we're going to have 1 lap to go.
Oh, you see LaPrade loose off the corner. Oh,
LaPrade's crashing on the back straightaway.
And looks like he's going to barely keep it off the wall. He's going to have to try to get it fired back around.
Did he hit the wall there, Finian?
He got a little bit of a hit to the left front. He kept it. He looped it around to make sure he didn't get any damage. But here we go. This should be the last lap before caution comes out, potentially. You see the 11 of Allen take the lead. There's Bell in 2nd and the 7 of Begunia in 3rd.
Drama here at the end of stage number 1. There's lots of shifting and moving around, and the 25's loose, Finney, and Corey Bleeven's out of control. He's going to hang on to it, but he's going to lose a lot of spots.
And they're 3 wide coming out of 4 and across the line.
And Jeremy Allen's going to collect the Stage 1 victory here. Well done by the number 11, Matthew Bell. 2nd, Cole Bagunia 3rd, Hart's 4th, Tyler Hensley rebounds for 5th. And Briar LaPraz is going to come back in a disappointing 14th position. Let's go back and take a look at what happened to the number 19. And he was fighting with the 11 of Jeremy Allen. And I think he just got loose on corner exit here, Finian. Was there contact?
I don't think there was. He got loose.
Just gassed it up a little early. And does he keep it off the wall, though?
Yeah, he kept it off the wall pretty well. Got a little bit of a tap from the right front.
Oh, that shouldn't hurt him at all.
Yeah, so he did a fantastic job of saving that 19. He'll still get going. I got to feel he's got to be disappointed with that, as he's now pretty much got no stage points. And actually, if we can, there we go. Yep, that graphic up there. So those are the points that everyone earned, 1st through 10th. And Allen collecting a nice, cool 10 points for his win. And again, you're completely earned it. Did a fantastic job on this pretty much first half of the race. So I'm not entirely sure. I wonder if we'll see guys come down pit road. And yep, it looks like we will.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that if I were these guys, I probably would have stayed out. At least I would have. But LaPrade is probably really glad, actually, that this happened, because he would have been in real big trouble had he stayed out on the racetrack with those old tires. So he's going to come taking advantage to get tires and fuel, but he's going to be at a huge track position disadvantage here. The other thing he could do is take the other 2 tires he didn't take last time, because he's only got about a lap and a half on them.
Yeah, only thing though, he did spin on those tires, so they're quite worn out, as he had to pretty much lock them down, and you would have a huge flat spot. I know flat spots aren't mapped, but he definitely took out a lot of wear from them, so he's probably going to try to take all 4 to get them back on par with everyone else.
So everyone leaving pit road. Now there's the 9 of Matthew Bell. Does he beat?
No, I think Bagunia got him. It was really close.
No, I think Matt Bell beat out Jeremy Allen here, Finian. And indeed he does. So change for position. And Cody Tabor currently leading this race, but I think he'll come down pit road this time through.
So interesting change for the lead there. We saw Allen pretty much commanding this entire race, and a little bit of a slip up on pit road. That's going to put Matthew Bell currently in first. So.
Well, speaking of Matthew Bell, let's talk to him. Let's drag him up to the booth and chat with last week's 2nd place driver. Hey, Matt Bell, you got a copy?
Yeah.
Well, this has gone off to a pretty good start for you. Pretty good battle so far in this race, but at the end of stage number 1, you came across the line 2nd. Now you're leading the race. Tell us what your plan is for the rest of it.
I don't think I got the speed to be ahead of Jeremy here. He's pretty fast. I think I got a good chance at the top 3 now. Bressy wrecked, Adams wrecked. I really just got to worry about Ryan now, and he's back in traffic too, so I might have a good chance at a pretty solid finish here, which is, it's better than what I thought was going to happen, so I absolutely hate this track. So,
well, for hating the track, you're doing pretty good. We wish you luck, man. Keep it out of the wall, and hope to see you in victory lane at the end of the day.
I'll try.
Have a good one. All right, so that was Matt Bell, your leader right now, and the number 9 car, Jeremy Allen in 2nd, Cole Bagunia 3rd, Tyler Hensley 4th, Casey Shue, and the number 4, he's running 5th right now, Finney, and a good run for him so far tonight.
I would say he's been having a pretty quiet night. He's had a slight bit of damage to that right front splitter, but other than that, he's pretty much had a pretty clean night. And yep, like I said, silent, running around in 5th at the moment. I wonder if he'll stay there though, because he's got a bunch of hungry guys behind him, like 86 of Keith Haney and the 6 of Jadricid behind him as well.
So he's got Fuel Outdoor gear on board that car this week in that number 4, and discount tire on the side of the number 46. Some damage to the front of the 86 car. Didn't see this before here, Finian.
I kind of wonder if that's who was the guy that spun? Was it Blevins? I wonder if Haney might have gotten into Blevins. That's what spun.
Does Blevins have any damage though? I didn't see him get collected by anybody. I thought he just got loose. He's spotless there, Finian. So I got to think that
check the rear.
The 86. I think the 86 got collected in something else. He just got loose off in the corner. I don't think he had contact with anybody. And this is a lot of damage. This is certainly from a front end impact that's pretty significant, not just a light tap in the rear.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering though, just where
I don't see anybody else's rear end matching that, so
kind of a mystery. All right, so
maybe as these cars roll around here, we can get a look at the back of some of them. LaPrade going to be restarting in the race in 12th position, but can't find any rear ends that match the front end of the 80s. Oh, I found
there
one.
we go.
The 46 of Hensley. A big dent in the rear of that thing. I hope that wasn't under yellow, because they're lined up together.
You know what? It might have been when Leaving spun, they might have found each other hard because everyone was checking out. That's my guess.
Yeah, it's going to hurt Haney a lot more than it's going to hurt Hensley, though.
Yeah, so unfortunate for... I wonder the 86 will be able to keep up the speed, but we'll find out now as pace car is about to turn in, and Bell now will lead them to the green flag.
And Matthew Bell's been quick, but does he have the pace to outrun Jeremy Allen, who's been the quickest car here tonight, has led the most laps, almost all the laps so far, actually. And as the pace car rolls off, green flag's going to fly once again. Matthew Bell's got Hensley lined up behind, and Bell shoots out of a cannon and will lead them down into turn 1.
And he got a fantastic start there. He's going to completely clear Allen. Allen's going to be cleared for second place.
Oh,
and
Casey
crash.
Shue. Casey Shue, a horrible collision in turn 1. Caution's back out here again. That car's wrecked.
Yeah, that was a violent impact to the outside wall.
Man, that car just hooked right and flew into the fence with a ferocity I haven't seen since Michael McDowell's Texas crash. Now let's watch this one from above. You see him on the restart there to the inside of the 86. Oh, the 86 comes across his nose, Finian, and he just corrects and slams that outside safer barrier, and Briar LaPrade crashed as well.
That's just unfortunate luck for the 19 getting involved in that. He was an innocent victim.
Get another look here. This is from the rear of Keith Haney. I think Haney kind of chops the nose of the 4 of Casey Shue here, Finian, and when he does, it catches Shue off by surprise, and you see him chop the nose right there, catches him, and he just corrects it, and it just hooks and goes up the hill.
Let's get a look from the 19 as well. It's, maybe from the gearbox, or not the gearbox, sorry, the Volvo or something.
Bear with us.
There you can see that.
He can't see anything.
Yeah, car flies across the track and nowhere to go.
Absolutely nothing he can do, and you see that car pretty severely damaged. And if we go look at the right front, that suspension's all mangled there, Finian, so Briar LaPrade caught up in a wreck. Nothing of his doing, but Casey Shue, an innocent victim there in that one. Not a whole lot he could have done to prevent that crash as the 86 pulled across the nose. We're going to go to break real quick. I'm going to go get a drink of water. My mouth's drying out. We'll be right back in just a minute. 1 to green here at Iowa Raceway in lap 87, working after a caution that involved the 4 of Casey Shu and the 19 of Ryder LaPrade. Both cars retired and out of the race after Shu was chopped off and overcorrected into the safer barrier in turn 1, bounced off and viciously collected Ryder LaPrade, who was back there after a little bit of a spin prior to that caution. So LaPrade caught up in an unfortunate accident after having probably one of the quickest cars here tonight. But Matthew Bell retains the lead, and we'll have Tyler Hensley lining up behind him, Jeremy Allen to his inside, and Cole Bagunia will have a good spot behind that number 11 of Jeremy Allen. And we were just checking out the iRatings here, Finney, just out of curiosity. That number 11 car, 7K. That's why he's so fast.
Yeah, one of the probably much top drivers in the service with that iRating, so that's why he's doing such a good job tonight. All he's got to do a little bit more to try to get around the 9 of Matthew Bell as the pace car pulls in, and they're going to wait. There they go. Green flag's back in the air.
Matt Bell almost looks like he backed up the field there a little bit, so I'm sure there's probably a little bit of frustration with that. But he'll pull away and drop down in front of Jeremy Allen, who's got Tyler Hensley to the outside now. And can Hensley do anything with that outside groove before the 11 comes up and chops? Not quite.
Yeah, almost went to the wall to try to get a lane on the outside of the 11, but not going to get it done. There you see Jadrosic now going to the inside.
Jadrosic is making a great move down here. He's not going to be able to make this stick, but I love this idea of going to the bottom on the restarts because everyone else is trying to roll that high lane, so they're actually slowing themselves down up there. So that bottom lane can really roll on the restarts if you can hit it just right.
There you see, how about the 3 of Ryan Hart's now? He's, again, was involved in a or had some early damage, or was involved in an incident, just had some right front damage under that first caution pit, with all the way back in 16, now only up to 5th now, trying to look on 4th as he's trying to find a way around Cole Bagunia ahead of him.
See all the bumps and grooves in turns 1 and 2, and Hart's going to try to get a late apex.
It's a little loose on exit.
You can see just how violent this track is, but it's the upper groove. They're so much smoother, and I think that's what drivers are gravitating towards.
Yeah, definitely so. Especially with these higher speeds, a bump could really upset your car and send you spinning, so you want to have that stability, and that's why guys are liking that outside lane more.
And Tyler Hensley beginning to back up this group just a little bit. Cole Bagunia got the 3 looking to his inside again.
And these guys all really close that out so well. There you see Hart's maybe looking on the outside of Bagunia. I don't know if he's going to get it done. Nope. He's going to have to settle in. These top 6 are running pretty close together at the moment.
And Bell continues to hold on to the lead by 0.3 of a second over Jeremy Allen, but the battle for 3rd continues. Hensley, Bagunia, Hart's, Jadrosic running nose to tail.
So they're beginning taking a late apex to the corner. They're trying to get a run on Hensley, but he's just not getting that run out of the corner that Hensley is.
Bagunia is putting on a great performance. Again, a new name we haven't seen here in Hardline, but first race out, running top 5 and being very competitive in that number 7 Camaro. So running right with the best of the best first week out. So I think there's a long career. Looking forward to him returning here in the Hardline Cup Series.
Yeah, again, like you're saying, great performance from that 7, and he's looking, he might be able to break into the top 3. I don't think we've seen him up in 3rd.
And battle for the lead once again. Jeremy Allen has tracked down Matthew Bell.
I was going to say, it looked like at the moment that Bell was about to run away with it just a little bit, but Allen's reeled him back in, and these top 2 are going to have a fight on their hands.
And Allen entering the corner lower and getting, really just staying lower to the track in general. Keeping those left sides right up against that yellow line and being very fast. That number 11 is just on a rocket here this week. And kind of apexing later and exiting lower than that number 9, but he's making it work for sure.
Yeah, again, he's just trying to take out get some extra speed by going a little bit lower. Get a little bit of a run by exiting late, and he's going to try to get it done on Bell, but
a little bit of right front damage to that number 11 there, Finian.
Yeah, actually, it's a decent amount. That's a decent lick as well. So, kind of wondering where he picked that up. I wonder maybe riding behind Bell, he probably picked it up. Trying to figure out where.
I mean, subtle enough that we might not have seen it happen earlier in the event, so it's possible that he picked it up before, but we just noticed it now, and it's not really hurting his performance any. He's still tracking down Bell, but certainly not the dominating pace he had the first run.
No, and I think it's just because he's in some dirty air off of Bell, and it's kind of hurting him. Just the way he's been driving, because we've seen him in clean air just been able to get about a second lead over everyone else. So you see battle, you see Hard's trying to get around the 7 now. Almost had it done. It was trying to get around Hensley, but lost a lot of speed on the straightaway.
Now he's going to roll that inside lane, and Bagunia on the outside trying to hold on to the spot. Bagunia was running up in 4th before, losing 1 spot, maybe 2. as Jadrosic is behind, trying to look at getting this spot away as well, if he could just get a little bit closer.
And as these guys continue to battle, he will start railing them in, so we could potentially have a four-way battle for third on our hands. Right now, you see Hart's now trying to... He's got around the 7, but now it's just the trouble of getting around Hensley in that 46.
Out of turn 2, lots of drivers giving each other room. We're making our way to the halfway point of this race, and once the laps start ticking down, the patience is going to start running out little by little. And out of the corner, oh, the 3 had to back out of it. Almost got into the quarter panel of Hensley.
Yeah, almost did. He kept it off, though. They're going to continue on it. Here comes Begunia again on the outside, now trying to clear the 3 of Hearts, but just can't get it done on that outside.
At turn 2, it's going to be a big help here, but it's even a bigger help in turns 3 and 4. So we'll see the 3 dive to the inside, try to make up ground on entry, but the 7 is going to get a massive run on exit here, and might actually clear the 3 by the end of the straightaway.
Yeah, there he comes, and there he goes. He clears him, and Begunia is going to be secure 4th place. And how about Jadrosic now? Looks like he's going to try to attack the 3 of Hearts. Started all the way back in 15th, now all the way up to 6, so it's a net gain of 9, trying to make it 10.
Look at Begunia all the way down, elevator top to bottom to the yellow line.
Oh, and speaking of top to
battle
bottom,
for the lead.
And there you see, you saw in frame that the 11 and 9 were side by side, but Allen just couldn't get any sort of run off the corner that the same way that Bell could.
Still managed to be a 10th quicker the last time through, so obviously Allen his patience is beginning to thin out, and he's trying to track down the 9 and pass him before the tires wear out too much.
Yeah, I mean, he also wants to try to pass him so that way he can keep a good lead both on Allen and the rest. Sorry, not both on Bell and the rest of the field.
They pulled out about 2 seconds in front of the next car, Tyler Hensley, back in 3rd, so they have a little bit of ground to work with, and I think that's why Allen is pushing the issue so much, because he can make that gap twice as big if he gets out in front. See him close up so much on corner entry and get right down to that yellow line and stay there. And that car just handles so well over the bumps. He's got that car so controlled. And he's driving off into turn 3. What line will he choose here? He's going to go up the racetrack compared to the number 9.
Yeah, almost into the wall there, just trying to find some sort of speed, any sort of advantage he can get over the 9 of Bell. But I can't.
Jadrosic falling back a little bit after he was fighting with Begunia and Hensley a couple laps ago, and Blevins has gotten around him for 6th.
And actually, Hartz has gotten around these guys for 3rd, and he's actually starting to make a little bit of a gap away from them.
Unable to begin to track down the leaders yet, though. They're still running a little bit quicker than him, and as we roll off of turn 2 now, the 9 and the 11 closing up once again, 0.2 of a second.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if Allen's going to start maybe trying to manage this gap between him and Bell. Maybe wait for Bell to use up his tires more. I'm kind of curious of what's going on inside his head looking at this situation.
Well, let's go. It's about time to check out the right front suspension cam here again. Let's watch Matthew Bell versus Jeremy Allen driving off into the corner with brake temps. Not a whole lot of brake temp in the 9. What about the 11? Doesn't look like it either. Let's jump back to Jordan McKeeboy again, see if he's still working. You see a little bit of glow here. Let's wait for him to get to the end of the other straightaway and watch the brakes here. And this is just the difference between the leaders, how much smoother they are in the brakes. And a little bit of glow there. And we'll go for one more corner here, watch the 21's brakes. Managing him pretty well early in the run here, but we'll go back up to the lead. Bell and Allen continue to chase each other down. Allen to the inside. He's got a nose in there, but can't quite get up alongside.
Yeah, again, it's just kind of futile at this moment as we see someone smoking.
That's a 55 of James Haney, I believe. Actually, no, Cody Tabor blew an engine here, Finia.
Yeah, I wonder if it looks like he's made some significant contact with the wall or someone on both sides of that car, so... Oh, he might have gotten into this 27 here.
That would be Jared Matthew. Here he is. Replay. Oh, gets up into the wall in turns 3 and 4. Almost looks like a tire failure there for a second. Bounces off again. Slides across the nose of the 27. They both fling down to the inside. A huge impact to the concrete. And the 27 gets away with a lot less damage, but the 2-car Cody Tabor going to be out for the night.
Yeah, he's going to be stuck there for a while trying to fix it again. I don't think they will be able to. We don't have a caution clock here in iRacing, but caution clock. I meant repair clock. Right? Is that what they call it? Yeah.
I'm glad we don't have a caution clock.
No, thank God. Yeah, but yeah, so he can try to fix that thing, but I don't think he's gonna wanna, and that's gonna be a retirement for that too.
89 to go here at Iowa Raceway or Iowa Speedway. What do they call it? Iowa Speedway.
Speedway. Yes.
They're gonna sue me for that. Anyway, here comes Jeremy Allen to the inside now, looking for the lead. And we mentioned as the laps begin to wind down, we only have about 35 minutes left in this race. It's not a whole lot of time, so Allen is beginning to strategize this, and I think the best way to strategize is just to get out front and lead the thing. And he's trying.
Yeah, these guys are going to have to make at least one more pit stop before the end of the race, so that's probably what they're going to try to do. I doubt any of them are going to try to make it 2 stops.
No, I think it's an easy one-stopper. Unless the caution were to come out now, you'd have a little bit of split strategy going on, but Bell and Allen continue to lead. And Hartz has closed this gap just a little bit, but not a ton. So I think once they stop battling, they'll stretch themselves back out again. But again, look at this running order. The 9, the 11, and the 3. Where have we seen this story before?
Yeah, with a lot of controversy.
Last week at Daytona, coming to the checkered flag. This is actually the order that they were in, the 9, the 11, and the 3. And ultimately, the 11 was given the victory. The 9 was put in second, and the 3 was put back to 14th. Last car in the lead lap.
Speaking of the 3 of Hartz, he's closing in on these guys. Brought that gap down to about just under 2 seconds. It was about 2.5 seconds a few laps ago. So he's cutting in just a little bit each time by, trying to catch the leaders.
Corey Blevins is he's had an up and down night. He's been up front, he's been out back, he's been in the middle of the field, and here he is now to the inside of Cole Bagunia for 5th. That 25 car moving forward. Almost crashed at the end of stage 1 and kept it going straight.
Yeah, and getting very close to crashing too. He actually spent quite a bit of time under the last caution in pit road. He had a little bit of damage to the rear. Try to get that fixed as much as possible, and now he's working up through the field like you were saying. So he's up into 6th, and he's got 5th and 4th ahead of him.
.85 laps to go now, and Allen has dropped off by about 0.6 of a second.
Yeah, significantly off the back bumper on the 9.
I'll jump back to this battle again. It was still heating up as I left it. So Bagunia, Hensley, and Blevins all fighting for 4th place.
You can see all of them running completely different lines. Hensley running a little bit higher than all of them. Then Bagunia running middle line. And then you see now the 25 Blevins going very low all the way down to the yellow line. Trying to make it work 3 wide through the corner.
Well, off the corner. Almost gets into Cole Bagunia, but we'll keep it off, and we'll try to make that inside lane work, but so late into the run, I just don't think you can get the grip down there to complete this pass.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be futile as Bagunia gets the run off the corner. He's gonna pretty much win on this. I think actually he didn't get as good of a run as I thought. Yeah. And there he dives it into the corner.
The exit of turn 2 here at Iowa is very strange if you run the high lane. You actually kind of drive up a hump here a little bit on corner exit, and you kind of drop down. If we look again, watch the 7 of Cole Bagunia and Tyler Hensley as they come off of turn 2. They're going to actually ride up a hump and then back down. Up the hump and back down. You see the elevation change there. And it actually gives you a little spurt of speed. Turn 4, just the radius being so wide is what helps you. But at the exit of turn 2, a little bit of downhill helps that outside car.
And you see Blevins now almost making it work on that inside line. He's been kind of going at it. Was almost able to clear Hensley, just not quite enough.
He got by the 7 car, which is the car he was trying to pass. So he's gotten up alongside Hensley now. And out of turn 2, they're door to door. But Hensley's going to have this run here. And the 25's going to have to jump up in line if he doesn't want the 7 to refill that hole.
Actually, let's try to ride on the brakes and just see how much the 25's bring. Because I gotta imagine he's going to be abusing that quite a bit, trying to make this pass work.
Pretty smooth on the brakes, actually,
yeah.
Finian.
I'm actually kind of surprised, too.
I've seen a lot of drivers be very caring about their brakes here tonight, which is not what I expected.
No, yeah, because you would think, too, trying to get the car to the inside, you're going to have to slow it down a lot more than if you were to run the outside, but he's making it work pretty smooth, and there you see he's going to
try to slide up in front, and he'll complete the pass.
Yeah, solid job by Blevins all the way up into 4th place.
Let's jump back. Let's ride on board with another car that's rolling back here a little bit farther. I do want to get a look and see if anybody's brakes are glowing, so we'll ride on board Eric Talent in the number 13.
Looks like there was a little bit of a glow.
There was when he entered the last corner. We'll see if it glows again off into turn 1. Just for a moment.
Yeah, so he's keeping it pretty well under wraps.
And how about Jordan McKeeboy here in the number 21, accelerating now. Now jumping on the brakes.
There he goes on the brakes, little bit. You can see, oh, there's some red.
Yeah, he's probably had but again, that's not a whole lot for stock cars here, Finian. They've been for the most part, these guys have been really, really paying attention to their brakes and knowing that using a lot of brakes is going to bring your tire temps up and reduce your grip level. So these guys have all been taking care of their stuff here tonight as we jump back up to the battle for the lead, separated by a 10th, but Ryan Hartz has chopped that gap in half and some. 8 tenths behind.
Yeah, he might be the dark horse on all this. We thought this would be a tale of the 9 and the 11, but this 3's got something with him.
Is he making time on the bottom as well? I mean, he's running very different lines than the leaders.
I think that's where I think that is where he's making up that time. So solid job with whatever Hartz is doing. We saw him have quite a bit of pace last season too, in a few races. Struggle with getting to the finish, but had pretty good raw pace, and he's showing it here tonight.
Now 3 and 4. Does he go to the bottom? He does. So the leaders are chasing each other up the racetrack there, and he'll drop to the bottom. Look at the 11 right on the rear bumper of Bell.
And now Allen's kind of got to hurry here. He's got the 9's teammate coming up here, and I think the last thing he wants to fight is 2 teammates, because they could really start working together around him.
Well, he wants the teammates to fight each other and not him. So he's going to try to get around the 9. He's got a great run. This is the best opportunity he's had, but he's going to have to really launch it into turn 3 to get the spot. Here he goes to the inside. Launches it through, but he's not going to quite be able to clear the 9 on exit.
Oh, he looked like he was just
he's going to try the 9 in the hard on the wall there on corner exit. Bell slams the door.
Yeah, you can see Bell was trying to, Bell was trying to race there, knowing that the 11 was going to slide up. Couldn't get there in time and ended up hitting the wall, so he's going to have to settle in for second.
Pretty significant right front damage, that number 9, and it might actually affect the handling of the race car. He hit that wall pretty square, but that was a hard hit there. So here comes Ryan Hartz now, the teammates beginning to close in on each other.
And I kind of wonder, it does, if this would happen, but I kind of wonder if Bell would let Hartz by and let him try to challenge the 11, because the 3's been making some really good time.
Oh, yeah, he's 2 tenths quicker than Allen the last time through.
So since the 9 was kind of holding up Allen, making him use up his tires, if he would probably try to let Hartz go by and let the battle, let's see, they're about to be side by side, and it looks like it might be no contest.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to even bother,
yeah,
so around goes 3, so Bell will relinquish second spot to teammate Ryan Hartz, and they'll continue the chase, and again, that time through, Allen was just a tad quicker.
Yeah, I think Hartz is going to have to start gunning it now, because this is all the pace. Again, like I was saying, he was in a little bit of dirty air behind the 9. I think that was affecting his pace, so now he's got some clear air ahead of him. He's going to try to chase away from the 3, and you can see now the 9 of Bell starting to fall off the pace from these leaders.
And the 9 of Matthew Bell really let the rear end hang out on corner exit. It was driving that car hard off the corner and trying to maintain his pace, but Corey Bleeven's now up to 4th, 2.2 seconds behind Bell, but hoping to close up just a little bit.
Yeah, actually, Bleeven's is one of the faster guys of the top 5, so interesting to see there. We'll see as they come across the line now, if anything changes. So Allen's currently, I think, the fastest between all of them, then Hartz. And then Bleeven's and then Bell. So it looks like Bleeven's might be actually chasing down Matthew Bell.
Yeah, I think Bell's really struggling with that right front damage he just got a couple laps ago. So I don't expect this car to continue running the speed that it is. He'll drop off consistently as the run wears on. And as soon as the tires begin to wear out even more, it's going to become more and more of a struggle. But let's take a look at our fuel strategy here, Finian. We're 54 laps into this run for a lot of drivers, and we look to the end of the race. You can make it from here on fuel, so maybe drivers thinking about pit stops soon?
Yeah, I think we're going to start seeing some pit stops in about 10 laps time. I think these guys are going to try to cut this in half as much as possible to maximize their tire life. So we might probably see some guys maybe trying to come in early, maybe do a little bit of an undercut, and you can, again, make it to the end from here on out. So we'll see what strategy has in play for some of these drivers. And actually, notably, too, if someone were to pull an undercut here, these guys are running about 1.5 seconds slower from their fastest times at the moment. So yeah, it could be valuable to come in just a little bit early.
Well, especially if you're Ryan Hartz trying to chase down Jeremy Allen. I mean, it's a second. So if you pit 1 lap before him, you've already got a 0.5 second lead when you pull back on the racetrack. So for Hartz, I think that's the move to pull. The question is, how long do you wait?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to give Jeremy Allen an opportunity to pit first.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a big guessing game, and you got to have to make some predictions, and you got to hope you predict it right. And again, Hartz can come in at any time right now, but he's going to want to maximize the life of his tires. He doesn't want to let Allen drive up and get around him. So, well,
speaking of life of the tires, you're not going to see a single hint of glow off the right front brake rotor here. Allen is just rolling the corner so well. He doesn't even touch the brake pedal there, driving off into turn 1 and 2. Just so smooth. You see all the bumps working the suspension on corner exit. Just absolutely phenomenal stuff from that number 11.
Yes, right now the lead has expanded between Allen and Hartz to 1.2 seconds. And it looks like Hartz is losing about 1/10 or less a lap. So he's starting to fade a little bit off Hearts. And again, this is where we're talking about that undercook. Could really help him within a lap or two if he comes in, but he's got to come in soon, otherwise it's gonna not entirely be in his favor.
Well, Matthew Bell continuing to fall off the pace now, running about 0.3 off the leaders, and Corey Blevins behind him is running the pace of the leaders. So that number 25 car is coming and coming fast, and Bell is going to quickly drop out of the top 3 if he doesn't pick up the pace here a little bit. Meanwhile, Tyler Hensley and Cole Bagunia continue to battle for 5th. These two have really been battling all night. And Bagunia's been in the heat. That guy's got to be tired. He's been working that wheel all night trying to maintain his position or improve it.
You can see him. He's fighting with Hensley. They're trying to get around him. Got all the
Hensley's way up the racetrack in turns 1 and 2.
Bagunia drive all the way down low trying to get a run on exit, but can't get it done.
And just waiting for the first guys to come down to take tires and fuel. I'm curious to see who's the first one to make the move, because Hartz is looking down at those lap times and seeing he's not beating Jeremy Allen. So at some point, you got to say enough's enough and stop losing time and come down and get your tires, get back out there, and play the track position game. I don't think you're going to run down Allen on raw pace. You got to play some kind of strategy here tonight.
Yeah, I think, again, Hartz is just trying to wait maybe till about halfway on their stint. So let's actually pop those numbers back up there. Let's see how close they're getting on it. So they're 61 laps into their tire life right about now. So and now's really a good time to question coming down pit road with 60 laps left in the race.
Well, especially if you're Hartz, because you're not gaining anything by staying out any longer. You can definitely make it to the end now. We have 60 to go at the line, and they've gone 62 on this run. So I'd be surprised if we didn't see people come the next 2 or 3 laps. And it looks like we got a first taker, Kevin Jadricic, in the number 6 down to pit road on lap number 140.
Yeah, so he's going to come down. Does anyone now follow in? Let's try to take a look here at the rest of the field.
And Eric Talent in the number 13 on and off pit road. He's back out. Had a quiet night, but certainly quiet night's better than what happened to a lot of the drivers behind him. So Jadricic on pit lane, getting his service right now, and Alan Hartz and others continue to stay out behind. And Jadricic leaves pit road now.
And Hartz now lost a considerable amount of time.
Wow, that took you 3 tries there. 3 strikes, you're out. Considerable amount of times.
Yeah.
There you go. You're welcome.
2 seconds now behind Allen, so he's really got to consider coming down pit road at some point in time.
Yeah, now 2.2 seconds back. So a couple laps ago, he was only 1 back. So yeah, I really have to think, if you're Hartz, what's keeping you out here? I mean, you're not going to run him down. I don't quite get this. I see Cole Bagunia jump into pit lane as well. He's going to drag Hensley with him. Those two are in a steep and intense battle for the 5th spot, and they'll drop down lap 143.
And actually, let's watch these pit stops coming down. And actually, as we're watching, there's Hartz coming down, and Allen has still stayed out another lap. So Allen, I can imagine, would probably respond to this with quick haste. As you see the 46 pull into his pit stop. Let's actually see between the 46 and the 7 who comes out first. So there you see the 46. He pops up his left side.
Here comes the 7.
And it looks like the 7's got him.
Yep, well, the 7 led him down in, so that position won't change. Meanwhile, Matthew Bell onto pit road now in the number 9 car. He'll drag Corey Blevins with him as well.
And notably, Allen is still out on the track.
Again, so now my question flips over to Allen. Why wouldn't you come down immediately after the number 3? Maybe he doesn't consider him a threat enough to come down.
I'm guessing not. I think he might. You know what he might be trying to do is since he was running pretty good lap times ahead of the 3 of Hartz, he thinks he can run better on these older tires and with some clean air ahead. Although he does have some lap traffic ahead of him right now.
But even Jadricic is outrunning him by over a second a lap right now, so I don't know if that strategy is going to play out. I just do know that Allen's, wow, he almost gets caught up in lap traffic there, but Allen's just so much quicker. And you see him responding now. I just don't think it's going to hurt him all that much if he gets behind the 3. I think he'll be able to drive right back around him.
Yeah, so I think that's what his mindset is. He's coming down pit road now. So again, now the big question is, where does the 3 of Ryan Hartz end up in all this? And he should be ahead of Allen.
Yeah, just by about a half a second to a second, I would assume the distance would be. So Ryan Hart's making his way off into turn 1 now, and
he's a lap down from the 11 of Allen, as Allen's still coming down pit road.
And pulls into a stall right now. So we'll see up at the top of your screen there in a minute where Hartz is going to pop out, and Hartz is on the back straightaway right now, I believe.
No, I think he's there at the start-finish line.
Yeah. Is that him? It is indeed. So Hartz is going to come back around easily past that number 11 as he rolls off pit lane.
There's Allen rolling up the lane. He's going to try to get up to speed as quickly as possible. And he's now, looks like he's significantly behind.
Yeah, about 2.8 to 3 seconds back. But again, I do think he's going to be able to run that car down. It's got about 50 laps to go. That's kind of a lot of time. I think Jared Matthew right now staying out on track, hoping for a yellow, because he would trap a lot of the field a lap down.
Yeah, I definitely think that's his strategy, trying to just kind of throw something into this fight.
But this will cycle out to give Ryan Hartz the lead. But already, Allen came out 2.8 back, has now got that down a half a second to 2.3.
Yes, so...
Again, I just think the raw pace that the 11s had tonight is just unstoppable. Just ran 0.6 of a second faster again. It's a 2-second difference. It's not even a close race. Allen's just killing it out there on speed.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Hartz isn't running any faster lap times. Looks like he's significantly off pace. I wonder if he's maybe stuck behind someone.
Jared Matthew now coming down to pit road for his last stop of the night. 1.7 seconds for the 11 to the 3.
Yeah, Allen was 0.3 faster that last time by, so he's making significant inroads on the 3 of Hartz, and this is kind of a losing battle for Hartz at the moment.
50 to go at the line. Ryan Hartz leads, but I don't think it's going to end up that way. We've got a lot of racing left. About 19 to 20 minutes worth of it, and now it's a second and a half between Hartz and Allen. And Bell 2.5 seconds back if anything happens. And Nicole Bagunia trying to chase down Bell for that 3rd spot. We've seen that 7 car be quick tonight. And he's got to get one more spot to get on the podium.
And he's made quite a bit of a gap to the 46 of Hensley in 5th. So Bagunia doing a fantastic job because as he's going to try to break into the top 3.
Oh, I see the 3 car get caught up in lap traffic there up there. That's the 13 of Eric Talon. He's going to get stuck behind and going to lose him a ton of ground. And Allen will continue to close. The 13 riding up the racetrack, though, Finney, and will he hold up the 11 as well?
It looks like he's going to keep it low on the 11. Allen's just going to drive around on the outside, so it's going to be no problems for him as the gap is now under 1 second.
My hands smell like garlic. Why?
I don't know.
I just smell my hands. I don't know. I'm going crazy. Anyway, 0.7 of a second to the lead. Allen continues to close on Ryan Hartz. Under 50 to go. Here at Iowa, round number 2 of the Midwest Powersource Cup for Hardline Sim Racing League. And
yeah, we're going to have a fight for the lead here, although
I don't think it's going to be much of a fight.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I don't think it's going to be much of a fight, but nonetheless, the 11's going to have to try to get around the 3, and I would think that Hartz is going to try to make it hard for him, but it's kind of hard to when the guy behind you is lapping 2 to 3 tenths faster than your lap.
And what a battle we've had between Hartz, Bell, and Allen the first 2 weeks. It's been these guys have been in the top 3 on the white flag so many times, and all 2 so far this year. And Hartz really wants to rebound and beat that 11 after what happened last week. I think there were some hard feelings there, so Hartz wants nothing more than to hold on to this, but I think Allen is going to get around him just a matter of time. Down to the inside, here comes Jeremy Allen all the way against the yellow line, going to touch the apron, get a good run off of turn 2. We have a battle for the lead now with 45 laps to go, and how long will it take Allen to get around?
Well, let's see. You can see that Hartz is now running the outside lane, just the more defensive line. And Allen's got to try to pass him on the inside, but again, it's more of just trying to get, not just alongside, but he's got to get ahead. Otherwise, Hartz can just drive on the outside like you see there. Hartz
running really defensive, ran real low into turn 1 and 2, kind of pinching the 11 down, and it killed Allen's momentum off corner exit. As we continue to battle, that's going to cause Jeremy Allen to kind of have to sit back, reevaluate his pass here. I think that's all Hartz can do is make this hard and waste the tires of Allen, and Matthew Bell's 4 seconds back. I don't think he'll be a factor. It's just going to be between these top 2. Side by side off of turn 2, and it looks like Allen got a great run, but will he have enough pace to complete the pass? Hartz drives off into the corner real deep. The 11 all the way down on the yellow line, but out of turn 4. Will he try to slide up in front of the 3? He will, and Jeremy Allen will now set sail as the leader. Does Hartz have anything to rebound from that?
I don't think so. If he was going to respond, had to be to the inside.
But here he comes to the outside. He's going to get run up the racetrack there just a little bit, Finian.
Yeah, and the 11 moves up to try to block a little bit, and it looks like Hartz is going to drive it in deep. He's not too. Doesn't look like he's too happy.
I thought he was going to go in there and go for the bumper for a second, but he'll back out of that. Jeremy Allen leads at lap 160.
Yeah, and again, I think this might be it for Hartz. I don't know if he's going to have too much for the 11. He's just been having, he just has so much raw pace.
Here's what happened coming out of turn 2. See, 3 of Hearts get a good run. He's got the throttle down. The 11 just comes right across the nose and almost puts the 3 in the wall.
And it also got really hairy here in 3 as Hearts just trying to get to the inside of the 11, can't get it done. And 11 just drives away from him.
Allen now setting a fervent pace out front. 40 laps to go, coming to 39.
Yeah, just under 40 laps to go left in this race. And I don't think it's going to be too much of a challenge here, unless something happens to Allen as far as damage or getting to the wall. But I kind of doubt it at this point that something like that would happen to him. He's been showing so much dominance, so much just raw pace out of that 11 machine. It's kind of hard. It looks like he's going to be pretty hard to beat.
Well, I think if a caution comes out, that's really the opportunity for other drivers to try to snooker him on some kind of strategy. I think if a couple of drivers take 2 tires or go on the gamble and stay out and force the 11 to pit, then you could have a race on our hands here. But if everyone stays on the 11 strategy, you're not going to beat him. This has been an absolute butt kick by the 11 this week. And remember last week, the domination from the 11, the 3, and the 9, they all were all up front for most of the race, and the drama coming to the checkered flag. And Jeremy Allen came out on top of that one. And will he start the season with 2 wins on his name? That's one good way to start a season in any series. Cole Bagunia and Corey Blevins now separated. There's a lap car of Jared Matthew in between them. Blevins having a nice solid top 5 night.
Yeah, and he's actually caught up all the way. He's past Tyler Hensley. He was behind Hensley. And now he's trying to catch up to Bagunia and Bell. So you could have a shot here at getting into the top 3. Got a little bit of work to do, but has some time to work with before the race ends.
Ran 2/10 quicker last time through. Keep an eye on this battle as he closes in on the 27 of Matthew. Again, a lap down car, but just in front of him is Cole Bagunia, who is a lead lap and a position that the 25 could take away. Kevin Jadrosich and Keith Haney, this is a pass for position, and put Jadrosich up to 8th, but trying to get around the 86 car.
Yeah, 86 with some big damage, and I'm surprised he's running as well as he is.
The 6 car's got some right front damage as well. Of course, the 86 hurt a lot more. So back up to the Bagunia versus Blevins battle as it's beginning to shrink. The difference between them, you see Blevins in the back of the shot right here.
Yeah, and as it starts shrinking, it actually looks like it's expanding just a little bit. And it was kind of interesting because Blevins again caught this group, so...
Blevins did run quicker last time through, was slower that time around.
And I kind of wonder too if it's the 25 of Matthew, or 27 of Matthew, that's kind of putting a dent in his progress.
Could be. I think the 27 has fresher tires. Let's see what Blevins' brakes are doing. Not much. Really trying to find someone who's wrenching on the brakes so we can get a nice good look at the glow. Jared Matthew. Not much out of him either. Man, this is not a good night. I thought this would be a fun night to use the camera. Cole Bagunia in the number 7.
I think you're going to probably have to save this for next week when we go to Bristol.
Yes! We're going to Bristol next week? Awesome! We can use that camera next week. I love this camera. I'm going to use it all. We're just going to stream the whole race from that perspective.
It'll be kind of boring because you can't really see much
That's
other than a
fine.
brake.
You don't need to see anything. You just need to see the brake glow. The brake glow is the coolest freaking thing. Sorry, it is.
Yeah, but right now the coolest thing that's going to happen is the 7, as he's falling to the clutches of the 25 of Blevins, as he's now starting to make some massive inroads on that gap.
I think Blevins is quicker, and this is just a matter of time again as Bagunia tries to hang on, but that lap car finally letting Blevins go around the outside.
Yeah, Blevins has no one ahead of him between him and the 7, so we'll see what he can do to try to minimize.
There's a 95% chance it's pronounced Blevins, and we're going to be shot dead for saying it wrong, but we're just, hopefully Corey will correct us in Discord if that's not the case, but apologies in advance to him. Well, under 30 laps to go now, 172 of 200, and time's running out for anybody if they want to challenge Jeremy Allen, but side by side for 4th now, that's the 25 of Blevins and Cole Bagunia.
I think that Bagunia is not going to have much to fight with here. As you see, Bleeman's just completely go to the inside, and he might be able to nail the runoff.
Drives up the racetrack up to the door of the 7, but can't quite complete the pass. Can Bugunia hang on? But the 25 is going to drive way deep into turns 1 and 2. Slide up the racetrack. Can Cole rebound at all? Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, so it looks like Bleeman's going to take that with ease. But while they've been fighting, he lost quite a bit of the gap to Matthew Bell ahead by about 1.2 seconds. So he's got to have to chase that down. He's kind of running out of time. He's only got about 25 laps left to go in this race.
And out up front, Jeremy Allen continues to lead now by 2.3 seconds. Laps continue to tick down as we come to 26 laps to go. Jeremy Allen now 2.4 seconds. Last time by ran at 23.5 to Ryan Hart's is 23.7. So 0.2 quicker.
Yeah, I mean, and again, Hartz can't be disappointed at all. He's going to finish in third. And again, had some great runs earlier in the race, just driving up through, passing a lot of cars. So second's nothing too shabby, but he's definitely going to be disappointed as he pretty much had the win in sight and within grasp. But Allen has just got in a world of his own.
And is this an indicator of things to come?
Oh, I definitely think so.
We're going to another short track next week, and yes, you drive it differently, but it's still kind of the same thing. So will Jeremy Allen take the first 3 races of the season? That would be a phenomenal feat.
I mean, the man has 7,000 over 7,000 iRacing for a reason, and he's definitely showing it tonight.
Are we at Bristol night next week? Or is it day? I hope it's night. Go find out. Go find out, slave.
Yeah, we're at night. It's at Bristol night.
Bristol night?
Yep.
Awesome. I love Bristol. I'm so excited. Do I have a track guide for that?
I don't know. Probably not.
I guess I'm doing one. Anyway, Ryan Hart's 3 seconds back, and Matthew Bell almost 6 seconds behind him there, so no chance that Bell will run him down. But Blevins and Begunia still kind of close, but everyone else pretty much spread out on the racetrack here, fitting only 7 cars in the lead lap.
Yeah, I would say we're under currently a very long green flag run. I think the last caution was before we got halfway through this race. So
Blevins.
Blevins.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, well corrected. Blevins. Blevins would be 2 E's.
Yeah. Listen, I'm going for I'm a cell bio major. I have nothing to do with English.
Yeah, I'm an electrical engineer. I'm a really bad one, but I'm not an English major by any stretch of the imagination. So Blevins, Corey Blevins. That sounds so much more correct when you say it.
Yeah, it does now.
Wish you could redo everything we just did. But 20 laps to go here. Jeremy Allen leads by 3.3 seconds over Ryan Hart's. Matthew Bell behind, 5.2 behind him. Corey Blevins in the number 25, and then Cole Begunia right behind him as well.
Yeah, Begunia's been able to stick with Blevins, but I don't think he's really got, again, much tires left to kind of make a pass, because you really got to use a lot more effort with your equipment to try to make the pass rather than defending. So, you see
Blevins almost could jump into the wall there. Did he catch it? I think he might have.
Might have gotten a little bit of a lick.
Let's go back and take a look. 25 car. Yep, a light scrape, but nothing that should hurt the performance.
Although that a little bit of a hit has allowed Begunia to catch back up, so he might see a fight here for 4th in a few minutes, maybe.
Please glow. Dang it, this isn't any fun. Begunia is just having a real good night. I mean, again, new driver to us at least, and haven't seen him in a broadcast before, and running at a solid top 5. But just, I cannot get over how much Jeremy Allen has had this field covered tonight. At the beginning of the race, the gap was smaller, but as time went on, he's just been slowly increasing his pace collectively over the field. And now the first stage, I think he won by, or before that first caution, was leading by maybe 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds. Now it's 4.2 with 17 to go.
Yeah, just complete domination from the 11. I kind of want to take a look at the end of the race and just to see how many laps he led, because it is a lot.
Certainly a lot. You see, you have to go back a whole straightaway to pick up the 2nd place car, Ryan Hart. Then got to go back another whole straightaway to find Matthew Bell in the number 9. That's teammates there. And again, the frustration of these guys lose into the 11 2 weeks in a row, and especially both these teammates in the order that they're running. But look, Blevins and Begunia back in a battle for 4th.
Yeah, and again, heating up here. But Begunia has very little tires left to work with. He's going to have to be very aggressive and maybe a little bit physical here in these closing laps if he wants to get around Blevins.
Let me remind you, people, it's a short track, so the bumper's fair game here. And under 15 to go, it's about time to use it if you want to get around. But the question is, are you willing to use it on somebody for 4th? We're going to a short track next week, and retaliation can happen there.
Yeah, so...
Ooh, both of them get real tight off the corner.
I think Blevins is really starting to hurt on his tires more so than Begunia, and I thought that would have been the opposite way around. But I think Blevins has probably used up quite a bit of his tires trying to get up to where he is, and he's starting to reach the cliff of where the tires just kind of fall off their pace a lot earlier. There
Drops down to the inside. He's going to have a run for it, Finian.
Well, he might have something here. Not that time by within the laps coming.
This is, again, a matter of time. We said that about Blevins when he passed Begunia, but Begunia's found something. Found a line, found some grip. Moved up the racetrack out of the rubber. Something has happened to that number 7. He has speed now.
Yeah, and I just saw the 25. He slipped entering the corner.
Slipped exiting, too.
Yeah, so he's really losing grip now. And you can just tell, too, by the 25 running a higher line than the 7 that he just can't keep it down there.
But that's going to make it hard for Begunia to get by. Again, passing on the inside, extremely tricky, especially on worn tires. You don't have the grip to do a slide job like we've seen with some other drivers here tonight. So Begunia's going to have to get creative if he wants to use that bottom line. 11 laps to go here at Iowa, and 5.3 seconds is the difference now.
Yeah, no change up towards the front of the field. It's your closest battle on the track at the moment. And right now, yeah, we only have 6 cars on the lead lap.
That just goes to show you how the pace and how much green flag running we've had here tonight. What, 2 or 3 cautions? 3 cautions?
I think 3, yeah.
Well,
those were all before lap 100.
Yeah, so it's been, the whole second half of the race has been green. It has led to a lot of green flag running and a lot of drivers going a lap down. Jump back up to lead and take a look at where Jeremy Allen is. Again, what a way to start the season off. And I'm curious to see when we go to the intermediates and, you know, do we have a road course on the schedule, Finian?
Yes, we do, and it's your favorite.
Watkins Glen?
Yeah. Yeah, we're going on December 14th to Watkins Glen.
Oh, beautiful. That's a good Christmas present.
Yeah, actually, let's run through the rest of the schedule. We got Bristol upcoming next week, then Michigan, then Indy, and then Watkins Glen. So,
quite a couple big tracks coming up.
Yeah.
Really mixing up the schedule. That's all over the place. Bristol, then Michigan? Oh boy, that's a change of... When's the first time we go to an actual intermediate? Kansas?
January 11th.
Wow. So we don't go to a 1.5 miler till January.
Yeah.
So as you see now, the 11 car getting a little bit wide there. That's the 6th of Kevin Jadrosich taking a lap back. I'm curious to see if Jeremy Allen can maintain this pace over the different forms of racetracks. We've seen him be fast on the restrictor plate, but I hesitate to call it fluky. But I mean, any guy can win a restrictor plate race with the right plan. But this week has shown that he's extremely fast at the short track as well. Now the question becomes, will he have the same level of dominance at the 2-mile Michigan and the 2.5-mile Indianapolis and other tracks that are going to come on the schedule? And how good will he be at road courses? That's typically a discipline that really takes a specific kind of driver, usually ones that come from the road side of things. And
yeah. And it's really, you can see that in real life too with guys like Marcus Ambrose and Juan Pablo Montoya, guys who come from the road side of things. They are really good. Even AJ Allmendinger as well. They're both all really good at road courses. Not so much at the ovals. They had their shines of greatness here and there. But really, when it came to the road courses, they were always up towards the front of the field. So,
yeah, so
we could see some different drivers, different names up at the road courses as well.
Yeah, and especially not knowing the makeup of the road course experience in the drivers that are in this series. And my question becomes, is there anyone in here that is from a road course background specifically? Because they're looking at that, circling it. Like, does Jadrosich have a background, or McEvoy, or Begunia? They could possibly sneak away and win one at Watkins Glen if they have a suppressed talent that we're not quite aware of just yet. And 6.1 seconds now. That's almost a third of a lap here. Allen is just driving away, and it's nice and calm inside that race car. He's in his zen moment right now as we come to 3 to go.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's been pretty quiet this last quarter of the race. Kind of everyone's kind of settled into their groove and just pacing themselves toward the finish, just making sure they can finish in one piece.
Driving off into turn 3 now, coming to 2 to go. And the race would complete right now if there was a caution, but I don't think anyone's close enough on the racetrack for that to occur.
And honestly, I'm kind of curious with Alan. He had damage to the right front of his car. I wonder if he didn't have any damage, how much faster he would be.
Oh, he's got 6.5 seconds. Is that not enough for you?
I don't think, well, it's not for me. I wonder if it's enough for him, though. So.
I'd take 1/10 of a second. I don't need 6 6/10. But coming out of the final corner, we're going to be 1 lap to go here at Iowa for the Hardline Midwest Powersource Cup Series. Round number 2, white flag in the air for Jeremy Allen.
And again, just like we said it all night long, just complete dominance from this guy. He's pretty much a champion in the making.
This is a championship season always starts off strong and ends strong, and that number 11 has started it off strong here tonight. Will take his second checkered flag of the season and win the first 2 races of the Hardline Midwest Powersource Cup.
And then behind you see Ryan Hart's coming across the line in second, and then behind him in the 9 is Matthew Bell.
Both those NOS Energy teammates losing out to Allen again for a second week in a row, so they're going to go do their homework and try to beat him next week. Blevins in 4th, Bagunia in 5th, Hensley 6th, Keith Haney 7th, and the rest of the field completes across the line. But Jeremy Allen, a solid win here tonight, and will easily take the checkered flag 7 seconds up on Ryan Hart's.
And there the 11's gonna do his burnouts, well earned for tonight. And honestly, I don't think this is the last time we're gonna see it.
Well, didn't get to do burnouts last week because he pulled off the track thinking he had lost the race. But
oh yeah.
We'll keep an eye on this camera. We're gonna shut up for a minute. We'll let you watch this, and we'll be back in just a moment with your interviews. Welcome back live here to Sim TV. We're here with race winner Jeremy Allen, the driver number 11, and it's your second win on the season, race number 2, and a dominant performance tonight. And tell us about how it went.
It went pretty smooth there. Got the pole. And this is one of the tracks that really suit me well. It feels like the slower you go into the corner, the faster you go in the stopwatch. So, I was lifting at the flag stand at about 10 laps into the race. And I was just letting it coast down the corner, and it really suited my style. And my right front was a whole lot better than everybody else's there toward the end. And we were really able to fly there after about lap 25. And like I said, I don't know, like this track just really, really falls in my wheelhouse because how far you have to back out the corner.
We saw you that last run. I mean, your average laps the last run were very, very fast, and it seemed like between lap 100 and 200 is really where you got to stretch your legs. Did you change anything? Was the rubber changing around the racetrack? What made you so quick that last run?
Well, I'm always moving the brake bias around on a track like this, and of course, the groove heats up and you got to try to find a new line. So I just found something that really stuck with it by backing up my corners, and I was really able to cut down off two and stay underneath the rubber. And I was driving underneath the rubber off too, and I was able to, like I said, get a better launch down the back. And in 3 and 4, I was getting beaten 3 and 4 by the second and third place drivers. I don't know what they were doing, but man, they were quite a bit better than me in 3 and 4. But my 1 and 2 was definitely making up for it.
Looking forward to next week. We're going to Bristol Motor Speedway also at night. So I know it's a little bit more of a short track than Iowa is, but how you're liking your chances next week?
I mean, it's a short track, so I gotta like that. I'm really, really good on the short tracks. Probably my favorite type of track to run on this game. So, should be a fun one with these competitors. And I might have had a good race tonight, but that ain't no slouch towards these guys. These guys are really fast. They just had an off night and probably had a little bit of damage or something. Trust me, these guys are gonna bounce back. And just because I won 2 in a row does not mean I'm gonna dominate the next race. So, looking forward to it and looking forward to a great race.
All right, Jeremy, thanks for talking to us, and congrats on race win number 2.
Thank you.
All right, next person we'll have in the booth will be the driver of the number 3. That'll be Ryan Hartz. And Ryan Hartz, you got a copy? Ryan Hartz, you got a copy? And it doesn't look like we have him. We'll switch him out, and we'll try to we'll talk to Corey in the time being. And Corey Blevins, you got a copy there, bud?
Yes, sir.
There we go. Well, what a race for you. It was kind of an up and down night, but you ended up in 4th. Tell us about your evening, because it certainly turned out quite well.
Yeah, so I went up. I started about 11th, went up through the field, got up there, and then it was early restart, I think, before the first stage ended, and had a little bit of a hiccup. I don't know if it was a freeze on my screen or what happened, but it dropped me back to 9th, and then I got caught up, damaged the right front, and then fixed that, and was able to come back up through the field and got a nice finish, and I'm proud of that effort for sure.
All right, well, thanks for talking to us, and hopefully you have a good run next week as well at Bristol. It's also another short track, and we hope to see you running well.
All right, thanks. Appreciate the broadcast, guys.
No problem. Have a good night.
You too.
We'll try, actually, is Ryan Hart's back? It doesn't look like he is, so I believe that'll be it for the night. So with that, we'll round out the interviews here, Finian, and it was been a really good night of racing. It's a lot of green flag running, especially after lap 100, and of course Jeremy Allen started out that race on top of the world and finished it on top again. You mentioned it, we're going to another short track next week. Certainly going to suit him.
Yeah, definitely interested in seeing, as well as guys like Bussy and LaPrade, who unfortunately ran into some problems here tonight, seeing what kind of pace they have looking into next week. So there were some pretty fast guys tonight. I'm expecting to see more out of them next week.
And again, the NOS Energy cars, Hartz and Bell, they've been quick both weeks so far as well, been great teammates to each other. So as we go to Bristol, will the teammate friendship end there when the bumping and banging comes at the Concrete Coliseum? It'll be next Friday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll see you next week. And the next broadcast from us will be tomorrow night with the Virtual Racing League Cup Series. That will be from Chicagoland. That'll be 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.